Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you've all been doing well. On today's video, I'm gonna be doing a long-term review of my bike, the POLYGON D7. It's something I've been wanting to do for quite a while, and seeing as I've sort of stumbled in my injury recovery with my knee, which now is actually really good, and I do think I can actually go back out and ride, seeing as I went snowboarding the other day, which was the best. I thought I'd quickly do this bike review, and yeah. I've had this POLYGON D7 now for just over a year and a half, I think. Yeah, I think that's about right. And with my new bike, hopefully coming within the next month or so, I think it's time to do like a long-term review for any of you guys out there who are thinking about buying this bike. A lot has changed since I've bought this bike. My fitness, my kit that I wear, my riding ability, and also my thoughts. By no means am I a good rider or have great knowledge on bikes, and I probably never will have either of those things. But over the year of owning this bike and riding some friends' bikes, I think I've got a pretty good idea on who this bike is for. Full transparency though, I am a Bicycles Online, POLYGON Bikes brand ambassador, but I am going to be completely honest with my thoughts. So yeah, I just thought I'd mention that. Also, if you are interested in buying this bike, I do have an affiliate link down below. It just gives the channel a bit of a kickback and, you know, helps this channel grow. So, who is this bike for? With its 120mm travel, this bike is definitely more suited for someone who likes to do a lot of cross-country riding, but don't let it fool you. I've taken this thing to Threadbow multiple times and I've ridden it down some pretty janky technical rock stuff, and surprisingly it's done the job quite well. Obviously it would have been nicer to have a bike that was more spec'd out for that type of terrain, but the simple answer is that 90% of my riding is not going to be downhill orientated or super technical rock garden type of riding. For me, this bike is like the perfect introduction into mountain biking or reintroduction into mountain biking. It has that do-it-all attitude, but at like an affordable price. I'm not gonna go into like a full like bike spec breakdown. This bike has obviously been out for quite some time, and there's some awesome channels that do proper bike reviews when it comes to specs and stuff like that. I will recommend Trail Talk MTB. He's gonna be the guy for all that type of stuff. But seeing as I've been riding this bike now for over a year, I am gonna mention some of the things I do like, especially seeing is now that I've actually been riding mountain bikes for a year, I actually have a bit more understanding of what you want out of a bike and what a bike should be doing. Start things off, I am a massive fan of how wide the bars are. They run at 780mm. The extra width gives you that extra stability when you're riding, especially when you're starting to learn how to ride. So that's been a massive boost in the confidence of my ability. The dropper post. Oh man, a dropper post. This is the first bike I've ever owned that had a dropper post, and I don't think I'd ever go ride a bike without one, because it is such a necessity for mountain biking. Whether you're out there riding any type of terrain, the dropper post will always come in handy. So the dropper post on this thing is 2 thumbs up. I know I personally have an older model, but I am a huge fan of the colorway of this bike. And the fact that I'm talking about colorways just shows to you how much knowledge I have on mountain biking. But it looks good, and you know, you like looking down at your bike and going, damn, that looks good. You like when you've got it like strapped up, and you want it to look good. You don't buy something that looks ugly. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the colorway, and I'm a big fan of most of the colorways on POLYGON's bikes. So yeah, no, colorway is sick. Now, I guess like the only real bone I have to pick with this bike is probably going to be the suspension. This isn't necessarily the bike's fault. It's probably definitely the buyer's fault. When I started my mountain biking journey, the only thing that I was after was a bike that was dual suspension, had a dropper post, and would get me outside and so I could ride trails. And that thing does that hands down, no questions asked. Now that my career has pushed me into filming some more gnarlier riders, this means a couple things. One, it means that I'm having to ride more gnarly trails so I can get to spots to film these dudes. And secondly, hanging out in that group environment of riders who are really pushing the limits sort of does rub off on you a little bit and makes you want to progress yourself. So in saying that, you do sort of want a bike that has a little bit more travel so you can handle some of the more gnarlier, jankier stuff, because it's definitely going to help you feel more confident on the bike when the bike is doing a little bit more work. As I've progressed in my riding ability, I have found that the suspension has sort of been a bit of a limitation, but you know, that is something that is going to happen with every rider as they continue to push and grow themselves in this sport. But besides all that, I absolutely love this bike. it's sort of really changed my life, really. It's pushed me into a sport that I never realistically thought that I would be so obsessed with, from like a personal level and also a business level. Like, I love nothing more than filming mountain biking, and more importantly, I just love getting out there, being in nature and riding trails. Like I mentioned before, this bike really is the sort of do-it-all mountain bike. If you're someone who's looking to get into mountain biking and just get outside and ride, this thing is going to be the absolute dream. It has all of the stuff you need to enjoy some, you know, trails outside. Maybe they got a little bit of like down in it, but like it's gonna have everything to just sort of just get you out there and start enjoying the sport. Oh, and I should also mention that it actually is coming in at a pretty reasonable price. Compared to the rest of the market and what the entry-level bikes are doing, this thing really comes in at a pretty good price point. That's gonna be it for me today, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Sort of been slacking a little bit on the YouTube grind. Just obviously injuries sort of make it hard to create content, especially when a lot of my content involves me being outside doing things. But I can happily say that I am on the mend, and yeah, so the channel should be pretty much going back to hopefully the way it was. I hope you're all doing well. If you did like this video, be sure to leave a like, hit the subscribe button for more content. I should, like I mentioned at the start of the video, have a new bike coming within the next month or so. So maybe subscribe so you can see the next steed that I'll be pushing around the mountain, the trails, wherever I go riding. Anyway, guys, with that all said and done, get outside, go create and capture, and peace out, homies. Oh. Oh my God. Oh my God. That was crazy.